Is he thinking about someone else? Is he dating someone else? Is he having sex with that other woman?
How did you discover tarot?
You don't discover tarot. Tarot discovers you. Your intuition cannot be measured. Is there a tool? Even the AI can do anything, but can AI do anything with intuition?
At least you're convinced that AI can't take your job.
Absolutely not.
You need no skill to learn how to read tarot. It'll take you just a week, and after that you will start earning like in 6 figures.
If you're good, money is going to follow.
Things like astrology, tarot, or occult sciences, they tend to play on those who are weak or insecure.
One is the ego that takes you over, and the other is greed.
People may have come to experiment. How do you win their trust?
I can now sense the questions also.
Startups who are in the astrology space are doing extremely well. Young people are getting attracted to apps.
It's the easy solution there. If one doesn't answer, the other would answer, or the other would answer.
What are people in their 20s coming and asking?
Love, love, love.
What about people in their 30s?
They think of marriage.
What is the spiritual gym?
Spiritual gym.
I'm delighted to be a part of 01 Media Network. If you want to learn from the lived experiences of our seniors, Been There, Done That is the channel to follow.
Hello and welcome to Been There, Done That with me, Rajneil Kamath. On my podcast, I talk to remarkable seniors about their lives, their experiences, their learnings, and I also understand how they lead a healthy and active lifestyle. My guest today is a spiritual coach, a tarotpreneur, a meditation expert, a teacher, a mother, a grandmother. She's made thousands of appearances on the media and is someone who is steeped in spirituality. I'm in conversation with Neera Sareen. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Atmanaman to everyone.
You know, when I look at you and when I talk at you, it's very hard for me to think of you as a senior, but how do you feel?
I feel as lively and as alive as ever. And I don't want this age to, get doomed on me or even show up on me for that matter. Yeah.
So do you have like a special routine to ensure it doesn't show up?
Absolutely. My day starts at 4 o'clock. And
4 in the morning?
4 in the morning, yeah, with my spiritual practices and the healing sessions, etc. And then, of course, through the day, I go for a walk, of course. I'm not too much of a physical activity person. But yes, walking is something which I love. And then, of course, my classes and the consultations, etc. My day ends at around 8 o'clock. And by 10, I think I'm off to sleep.
Is there a special food that you have, a special diet, a special skincare
very
routine?
Simple sattvic food.
Which you only cook and you only ensure?
So there's somebody who cooks for me.
Okay. I know you've been busy as ever. And your mantra is self-love to self-attainment.
Yeah.
And you've often thought of transforming lives. So what does that mean?
Absolutely. I think God has been great. And this also comes out of grace. If you're, so I feel grace dawned upon me since long. And I have been instrumental in transforming countless lives. For me, self-love is more about accepting and valuing your own self, self-preservation for that matter. And self-attainment is definitely the actualization of the self, where you come to the realization that the self, that is the Atman, is no separate from divine, the Brahman.
Many people think of self-preservation as a bad thing. Do you think of it the same way?
No, I think absolutely not. If I have the right to preserve myself, that means I am not game for buying pain for myself. Okay. I would rather buy pleasure, and it's not being selfish at all, because I have the right. So I need to draw lines. I need to set boundaries in areas where I think that I could possibly get some pain.
And this is ensuring that you are peaceful and free of pain.
Absolutely.
You also spoke of this concept of the spiritual gym.
Yeah.
Now,
right.
I go to a very physical gym. I went to one in the morning and did like a full test. What is the spiritual gym?
Yeah, so when I started my career, I think this was something that came into my mind because all that people were speaking about was physical gym, but they were so fit physically. But when they came to me with their emotional and mental stress-related problems, I thought that, what is this? if you're not able to handle things in life, you're not able to journey through life peacefully, then what is the point of even remaining physically fit? So that is where I coined this spiritual gym, which means that you need to be fit emotionally and mentally as well.
Now, when you go to a physical gym, there is like instruments and there are like machines. Emotionally, how do you stay fit though?
So emotional and mental is all to do about the meditative practices. The yoga helps a lot. Then mindfulness, of course, pursuing your passion, which you ever wanted to do as a child. That also helps a lot. So we have all of these spiritual practices which help you to, maintain a balance between the heart and the mind.
I want to shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about your early life and how you got into this.
Absolutely.
Now, your father was in the railways, which meant that he was moving cities. It's a transferable job.
Yes.
So, how many cities have you lived in?
So as far as I remember, being the youngest in the family, my earlier days, that means the childhood, was in Nagpur, which is in Maharashtra. And then from my 6th to the 12th was Allahabad. So that was where I was much in awareness. And I enjoyed my stay there.
And which of these two cities had like a profound impact on you or helped you realize certain things about yourself?
So Nagpur was more about the Bishop Cotton School that I was in. So I remember the building and my little, memories are there. But primarily it's been Allahabad, where everything, as I said, I came into awareness there. And it also gave me a vent out to come and experience a hostel life here in Delhi. Well, because Allahabad was considered to be something, as far as education is concerned, post-12th, was that every second year was declared a 0 year.
Oh.
So my father was just not interested to make me study in a place where I don't know when am I going to complete my graduation. So that's how I joined Delhi University. Yeah.
Now you said you were the youngest sibling. You were 5 siblings in total.
Yeah.
What is it like growing with like 4 siblings? Were you the most pampered?
No, absolutely not. I think I was kept the most grounded. And that's what helped me subsequently when I came into this particular field. So nothing pampering. I had a lot of experiences. I think I learned too early in my life, in my age. So I was more than my age, I guess.
Was it because you were also traveling a lot and therefore you got to see a lot more, learn a lot more?
Yeah, but then it's also to do with the siblings, because they were much older to me and they had their own lives and the experience, how everything unfolded. So that was a huge teaching for me to shape my, individuality and my character.
And were you always drawn to spirituality and occult sciences from an early age?
Absolutely. I think I was born one. And I've been the exception in the family.
So at which point did you start realizing, or at what age did you start realizing that you were intuitive? And do you remember, like, were you reading palms? Were you making predictions? What were you doing?
So this is something which is very interesting, is that when I was a kid, I think I was just about 7, 8 years, maybe 9 years old. And I would, look into the marbles. I would steal those marbles from my brothers. And I would just gaze inside the marble, and that would open the whole, it was like a Pandora's box opening inside the marbles, the whole storyline. I did not know what I was doing, but it used to really intrigue me, unless and until, of course, when I got into this field, I hit the crystal ball. So that gazing part was absolutely not difficult for me, because the entire imagination had, surface and language to speak. And at one point, my parents thought I was going a little crazy, because what I was doing was this, and then also talking to the marbles, because I would see certain scenes inside. And then apparently when I was in school, I think the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th and up to 12th. So I would read these palms, not knowing anything about palm reading, not a single line. But these girls would come to me, my friends would come to me, and, there at that point of time, what were the questions? Like, okay, we have a unit test. So what is the mark? How much marks I'm going to get? What is the grading? And if they have a crush on someone, so they would ask about that. And I would see the hand, and not knowing anything, whatever I would say would come true.
They always came true.
They always came true. And then I started enjoying, I would hide in the recess somewhere. And I would really like where they're all looking frantically for me, because recess was the time where they used to catch hold of me after having food. That, okay, tell me this, and all of that. And then I would hide and I would enjoy that, not knowing at all as what I was doing.
And then did your family, I mean, of course, you said your parents thought you were going crazy. How did your siblings kind of react to it?
Not that I shared too much with them, but yes, my family has been a very religious family. So they typically followed the Gurdwara setup. And I wouldn't say that they were spiritually inclined, but as I said, that the Gurdwara ceremonies, and that was their faith. So obviously, I didn't have much to share with them, because they wouldn't have understood as what was happening to me, or which is the sensory perception that I was utilizing in all of these things. Even I wasn't aware at all.
So back then, like when you did go through this, did you think of it like as a career option, something you could pursue?
Not
or you were too bogged down in what rest of the society thought was a good career trajectory, and therefore you moved in that direction?
No, absolutely not. Not at that point of time did I ever think of occult or spiritualism or anything like that. But yes, I was always a creative person, and I wanted to do the interiors. And knowledge is something which has been right there from the onset. So I wanted to, study as much. There was a point where even I prepared for the IAS exams.
Okay.
And I did the whole lot of research and I prepared, but I had to get married. I could not sit for the examination. So that's where I took up history honors, and I did my post-graduation in history, and then subsequently followed by B.Ed, that was post-marriage, and my interiors simultaneously.
So did you do your graduation and post-graduation after marriage or before marriage?
No, that was before marriage.
Before marriage.
Only the B.Ed was post-marriage.
You did your B.Ed in history, so you were in Allahabad and then you moved to Delhi.
Yeah.
What was the shift like? Because now you were always living with family. Now you moved to Delhi, you're staying in a hostel.
Yeah.
What kind of, was it like a culture shock initially? How much of adjustments did you have to make?
No, it wasn't. But I think I was that person already. And Delhi is a city which grows in you. It brings out the real you. So the hostel and Delhi, for that matter, both of them, I think they were instrumental in bringing out the best in me, to give me that fierce independence of taking my own decisions and stuff. And very different to how my sisters are even today. And so I think I got wings to fly.
Did you ever get into trouble with the hostel warden for doing things that you shouldn't have?
No, I think I was very wise and a very matured girl for that matter. And to be on the lighter side, I would add in, I never had a boyfriend.
At all?
At all.
At all. Were you still reading palms in hostel and like telling your fellow hostelers what to do, how to do?
I was. Even at that point, I was. And again, I wasn't even aware. I would feel that, okay, this is something which is such fun. And I don't know where is it coming from, but it was such fun.
So you finished college, you get married, you did your B.Ed, you worked in a hotel, you worked as a teacher.
Yeah.
How did you then suddenly transition to occult sciences full time? How did that realization even happen that this is something I can do? Was there a guru you found, a mentor you had, somebody you looked up to, or how did that transition happen?
All right. So, Rajneil, I would want to add in here that whenever the transformation has to set in, there is always going to be a dead end. There's always going to be a threshold or a dead end where there is a U-turn. And in my life at that point of time, I had a physical ailment where I was down with a low back pain, and I was almost bedridden. And I was teaching also at that point of time, and I was also into handicraft business. I was also doing that because we were posted in Rajasthan, and that was a good place to take up this business. So I did take it up. And then, of course, I first did the art of living. The Sudarshan Kriya, of course, did not help me much.
Okay.
Then I got into Reiki. Reiki was the healing modality which took me out of my pain and agony, and I started my routine, usual life. And that's where I got I did all the levels. That was way back in 95. And then I started my healing practices. In the sense, of course, not professionally, because I was already doing something. But yes, I used to help people, friends and families and stuff. And I did it for quite some time till, of course, tarot took over.
How did you discover tarot? Because tarot is not inherently Indian, it's considered to be European. So how did your discovery of tarot happen?
So tarot, you don't discover tarot.
Tarot.
Tarot discovers you.
So how does that, like, what is that as a process?
And it was, for me, an overnight change in my life. Like when I came across tarot and I studied my first lessons from an Egyptian lady back in Mumbai, it was very transforming because I was into jewelry business at that point of time. See, there are so many things that I've been doing. And each time it used to reach a certain point and I would leave that, something else would come to me. So when tarot opened up, I thought that, is it going to be the same pattern? And that's where my soul searching and soul seeking started. That am I going to be stable here, or it's again going to be that one thing which I'm going to take to a certain level and then, something else is going to open up? I did get my answers. And then, of course, there was no stopping after that.
But every time you stopped to that certain level, did you reach the high and then move on, or did you just
Yeah, I always did. I was doing very well in my teaching. I was teaching the higher secondary classes. I was good in my handicraft business. I was very good in my jewelry business. In fact, jewelry, I had almost decided to embark on the exports. Wherein this turning point again came up.
How difficult is it then, though, to reach the high and then leave it, because you're only going to go higher from there, right?
So somewhere in me, I think, did tell me that, accept as life, whatever life has to offer. And there's going to be something really good in the offering. So that's why, I have been going with the flow, I guess. And I think it's been very successful.
And then you said you were helping people, of course. But when was the first time you decided, okay, now for the occult sciences that I'm practicing, I'm going to charge my customer?
Yeah, so that was 2004.
It took that long?
Yes, I did take long.
Why
because
that?
I was, in the meantime, I was preparing, I was learning, building up my skills. And I don't know whether I've mastered 60 modalities.
Modalities here meaning 60
The subjects. Occult subjects.
And where did you study this?
Some here in India, of course, but mostly abroad. US and the UK.
When you look at tarot cards, they seem to have a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of imagery that's there.
Yes.
Did you find any commonality between the tarot that you are now reading and the history that you had studied?
Not really.
Not at all?
Not really.
Why did you study history then?
History, I've always been fascinated with respect to the facts and the foundations and everything. So that's where history always intrigued me. I was very good in history, even in school.
Okay, because when I look at some of the tarot symbols, it reminds me of medieval Europe for some reason.
Absolutely. We talk of the Renaissance period. We talk of the culture at that point of time. We do that. But that is primarily because when the cards were made, they were created, authored, and created and painted at that point of time.
And when you did your first reading for the customer in 2004, was there any kind of self-doubt that, oh, my first customer I'm charging, it better be true. I want this customer to come back.
I wanted to even add on here that after I did this 3 days crash course of tarot, I got back to Delhi and there was an exhibition out here for 10 days. It was organized by the army. And I was to participate for my jewelry. I had taken up a stall. So my husband just happened to tell me that, why don't you just practice tarot as well? And I said, I know nothing about it.
Right.
And you're asking me to do that. He said, just try it out. And if you believe me, Rajneil, it gives me goosebumps even today. For those 10 days, I did nothing but tarot. I mean, the cards would open, people would ask me such intense questions, and I would answer. And that was the time, it was April. And that is the time when people finish with their exams. They are appearing for interviews and so on and so forth. And I would give such radical, predictions. Outrightly, you're going to pass, you're going to fail, you're going to clear, you're not going to clear. And I'm sitting here for 10 days. Come tell me.
How did the people who realized they were not passing take it?
Absolutely, they got back to me, and I was bewildered at the end of the 10th day, as though what has happened to me. It's like सरस्वती बैठ जाती है आपके उस पे जुबान पे, और आप जो कहते हैं वो सच होता जाता है. So it was like I never looked back to my jewelry. That was the last day.
So you never sold any jewelry in 10 days?
No, the girl was looking after the jewelry. And post that, when I realized that, oh my God, what did I do for these 10 days? I then, as I said, I started my soul searching and seeking as to who am I and what am I doing and what is my purpose? Is this my purpose, or is it just a role?
Now, you spoke about your husband. He was an army officer.
Yeah.
What is it like being married to an army officer? Because I'm
It's
sure
pretty tough, but at the same time, it's very fulfilling also, because somewhere you feel that you are contributing to the nation, being an army officer's wife. And we also have a lot of responsibility, you see, in supporting the husband, because he's all over the place, and supporting the family. At the same time, within ourselves, supporting each other in the separated quarters when we stay. And also providing the support. And we have these welfare activities for the families of the other ranks. So in order to keep them also motivated, because even their husbands are outrightly involved. So yes.
And what kind of fear do you have when you're married to somebody in the army?
Loss of the dear one, the husband, of course, specifically if he's in the combat zone.
But do you have an elevated sense of how you would deal with it, given the spirituality and the other things?
I did. My faith system has been very strong. So I knew that things are eventually going to fall in place.
But would you ever also try to predict outcomes for him? Like, would you,
Yeah,
like with
he
family
does.
members, do you also end up doing this?
So initially not, because they never took me seriously, to be honest. But yes, when they saw that I am doing serious stuff, is where they started, kind of asking. And I would guide them whenever they wanted to. As far as my husband, my child is concerned, of course, they always come to me when they need guidance. Yes.
But are you also able to proactively tell them, hey, I think you should be doing this now or do that now? Or
So for me, Rajneil, Occult, any tool in Occult is about guidance, is about giving clarity at the right time. And I think if you receive clarity at the right time, it makes a hell of a difference. It's not prediction at all. For me, it's all a therapy. It's all about guidance.
I want to talk about occult sciences a little bit. There are a lot of people who don't believe in it. Some people would say it's a pseudoscience. There's no proper backing. There's no proper evidence, right? There's a lot of resistance. Many people don't think it's rational. What would be your answer to
First
that?
of all, at the onset, I don't like this term being used as pseudo, because do we have a tool to measure the mind? We don't. So occult is what? Occult is the fourth dimensional world. It is the unseen, the secretive world. And you are tapping into that dimension to unfold as what is there. And what are we using? We are using the ESPs, that is the extrasensory perceptions, or we are using the tools, the occult tools, to get there. That cannot be measured. Right? Your intuition cannot be measured. Is there a tool? Even the AI can do anything. But can the AI do anything with intuition?
Maybe at some point, yeah.
I don't know. I
mean, if you're
absolutely
able to feed it with enough of data.
I absolutely feel that that's something which AI will never be able to do.
So at least you're convinced that AI can't take your job.
Absolutely not. And in the coming time, I think spiritualism and occult is going to go big way.
I mean, it is in many ways.
Yeah.
But then has there ever been times when you've predicted something and it's turned out to be wrong? Or have people said, yes,
So first of all, as I said, that I don't call it predictive per se, but yes, so guidance. And if the guidance has fallen in place, and if you're forgetting, I come from the time where I was sitting in public all the time.
Yeah.
There was no social media at that point of time. So I have been a trendsetter in the exhibitions and the events where I would sit with the person right in front of me and have a conversation. And everybody knew where I am available next. So that was for me to get a feedback as how I'm going and what am I doing. So if I've guided someone, I would get the feedback. In fact, people would come and tell me that, okay, we saw in the newspaper Neera Sareen is going to be there in this event, so that's why we've just come for you.
Right.
That's where you used to give me that validation that yes, I'm doing fine. Yeah.
Fair. But there would also be some people who would say that things like astrology, things like tarot or occult sciences, they tend to prey on those who are weak or insecure, those who are looking for hope or want to hear a particular answer. Is that a fair characterization? Because most people who may come for this are often have some issue, some problem,
Yeah.
don't know how to solve it,
Yeah.
and are therefore looking at other ways or means of trying to get satisfaction.
So in this, see, it depends on the objective and intention of the practitioner. Either you can empower or you can do extraction. So it is all about that. And there are two main things which catch hold of you in this particular line of mine. I always tell my students, one is the ego that takes you over and the other is greed. Right? And if you get trapped by these two, then there is all possibility that you start taking up the unfair and the unethical means. But if you remain grounded and you're aware of these two, then I think you're going to really be absolutely going fine. Yeah.
What were some of the challenges, therefore, when it came to, like, people may have come to experiment, but how do you win their trust? How do you explain to them what is it that you're exactly doing? Because sometimes even when you speak, it can be at a much higher level than what even I would understand, for example.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there have been so many people who've been coming and even trying to test, or even who were non-believers as well. I have some in my family too. And so I first do the energy reading. I would talk about their characteristics, their personality, their ins and outs without even knowing a person. Yeah. And that kind of sets them getting intrigued into how does she know? How does she know about me so well?
Right.
And obviously, I have taken a journey. It's been a process of developing my faculties at the same time, wherein I can now sense the questions also that the person is coming to me with. So that's where the entire ice-breaking, kind of thing starts.
And then after that, it's like an easygoing process.
Yeah. And then, of course, then they start asking. And then most of the people used to come and tell me, okay, tell me about my past. Or what must have happened. And so when you hit there, then they say, how does she know about it? Because I didn't disclose anything.
Got it. I mean, so a lot of people now have been coming to you. They come with multiple issues. They're discussing a lot of things that they may be going with their families, their love lives, their businesses, their work. Is it an emotional toll on you sometimes to take so much of it?
It does. It is definitely. So this is all energy work, Rajneil. It's all about, like, I am sitting, but this entire energy work. And it is like it's contamination at the end of the day, because you are interacting with somebody's energy and it's all the time listening to negativity. It's all the time the problem. So obviously, I am sitting here to kind of give them that, that empowerment, that positivity to go on in life, because life cannot be black and white. Life is itself a process. So in that, of course, if I am dissipating my energies, I have to refill, where spirituality plays a huge role.
So that keeps you balanced, that kind of maintains your sanity and ensures you don't lose it.
So what happens is gradually you tend to get withdrawn, inwardly. And then you like remaining with yourself in solitude and the silence. So it's been like ages since I've watched television.
Oh, you don't watch TV at all?
No, I don't.
Do you listen?
Except for, a couple of OTT platform serials. Otherwise not.
Otherwise nothing.
Yeah.
So when you started, of course, there was no social media, there was no Instagram, no YouTube, no Facebook. But today we have a lot of it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who are apparently spiritual experts, astrologers, tarot card readers. I came across a post which said that you need no skill to learn how to read tarot.
Okay.
It'll take you just a week.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, within a month, you will start earning like in six figures.
6 figures.
Are
yeah.
any of these true?
See, skill, of course, there's no eligibility or criteria. What I feel is that, you should be having that commitment and interest and a calling, of course, because this is a universal calling. And secondly, this is a huge subject. It is just not 2 days, 4 days game at all, as far as tarot or any other tool is concerned. And apart from that, when you learn, you take in knowledge, there has to be tremendous practice. As you know, practice make it perfect. So that is something very important. And I really do not understand what's happening back in Instagram, because how can you be a seasoned reader? And it's so much of responsibility where somebody's having so much of faith in you and asking you something and you're guiding somebody without even having the criteria of practiced enough. You start left and right. So this is happening big time. And then if you have practiced well, if you are a seasoned reader and you are confident enough, and then when you start practicing, people tend to believe in you. That's where you start, I feel, again, as far as money is concerned, the earning money should not be a agenda or the criteria. If you're good, money is going to follow. And that's what I have followed all my life. Money is going to follow you if you're good at your work.
But can you make a living of just tarot? Or
Absolutely. Why not? I've been doing it.
You can.
I've been doing it for so long.
So what is some of the nonsense that you see on social media? Like when you look at it, you're like, oh my God, what is this person saying? That can't be true, or that's not true, or that's misleading, or that's absolutely false. Like, tell us some of the things on social media you've seen that people should absolutely not believe.
Yeah, so absolutely. I don't believe in the rituals and the remedies, which are thrown like crazy stuff. One festival and you'll find plethora of remedies and rituals and so on and so forth there in Instagram. So one is that. And the other is manifestation. There's too much of manifestation thing going on.
Everybody believes they're manifesting their lives.
But nobody is going to prepare you at the real sense. Nobody is going to prepare you at the foundation level. Nobody is going to talk about your patterns, your belief systems. Without altering, without working on your belief systems, how can you manifest things?
But that is because Shah Rukh Khan has said, na, kisi cheez dil se chaho to puri kainat will make it happen for you.
Yeah, so that's only Shah Rukh Khan knows better as why did he say so? And so I have no comments on that, actually.
But what are some of the other things that, I know you were saying, I think, what is that? The black eye, black magic. What are some of the other things?
Evil eye. There's a lot about evil eye going on. There's a lot about black magic, going on. So if you don't understand anything, so okay, yes, fine. The person, anybody coming to would also feel that, okay, if I'm facing failures, I'm facing certain problems, certain health issues, so it's black magic. Or I've been hit by an evil eye. Evil eye is, what you call nazar, right? See, all of these things exist. Right? But all of these things can also be, you can also attract them by not working on your aura, not strengthening up your magnetic field. You can attract all of these things. Also, if you are emotionally and mentally not sane, and you've been in depression, you've been sad, you've been unhappy, you've been stressed. So you are attracting these negative forces to your own self. And that's where they become as blockages in your life. And what best you can understand or you think is black magic happening or an evil eye happening. And then you go to someone and that someone endorses the same thing. There are so many people who've come to me saying that, okay, this person said black magic in evil eye. I did not find anything. I think I asked them to work on their self more, and that has worked better for them.
Yeah, because it's like a convenient excuse, right? To blame everything that you don't do on an external factor.
You tell me, if you remain sad, depressed, unhappy, cribbing for a year, what's going to happen to your energy field? And whom are you going to attract?
A similar audience, I'm guessing.
Similar audience, absolutely.
One of the other things about astrologers or, those in occult online is they are known to be extremely glamorous. In many instances, it's not the subject that is attracting attention, but the way they dress or the way they the way they deliver the message in a very specific way. Why does that seem to go hand in hand, or why is it being made to look like that?
I think it's more of a glamour appeal that one wants to give. And if you only tell me, if you are good in your subject, what do you need? Is your knowledge going to speak, or is the glamour going to speak? At the end of the day, people are going to get attracted to you with the kind of knowledge and the intensity and the depth that you have. See, presentation is important to an extent, but a decent presentation, I think, is perfectly fine.
And did you ever, I mean, of course, you now left media, but did you think of becoming a creator or trying to do something like that? Or that's not
really.
crossed
I
your
have a YouTube channel, of course.
Okay.
And I am doing reels and stuff on Instagram, social media as well. But you'll never find me sitting there and talking about remedies and rituals and, all of these things. All I do is the self-management, the emotional, mental management, and the positive thinking. And this is what I want to give out to people as well. Yeah.
So I want to do a little bit of a zeitgeist. One of the things we've seen is startups who are in the astrology space are doing extremely well.
Yeah, they are.
More and more young people are, not just in India, but maybe across the continent of Asia, even in China, for example, young people are getting attracted to apps where they're able to talk to those in occult sciences. Of course, they're going through different life situations. But why do you think young people are attracted to this today?
Yeah, because it's the easy solution there. And B, there are so many of them sitting. If one doesn't answer, the other would answer, or the other would answer.
Yeah.
And actually, you get very shallow questions on these platforms. And I have so many of my students, here they pass out, and there they go and join the astrological platforms. You just do not get, the satisfaction. I have never done that. So you don't get that professional satisfaction. Why? Because it's all about the mundane questions. And as I said, very shallow questions. But yeah, it's easy money for even the practitioners. So they feel that, okay, now they are able to start earning, they're going to make money. And that's how, and because you get a variety of people there in different fields, that's why people find it easy to access.
You spoke of students. Are a lot of young people thinking of this as a profession now?
Absolutely. And I encourage them a lot.
But is it, how is it like? Are they doing it right after 12th, or are they doing this along with other courses?
No, there has been so much of variation. Not after 12th, of course. You need your education. You need, whether it's a graduation, post-graduation, or whatever. I have had lawyers coming and joining me. I have had doctors coming and joining me. The corporate world, of course, whole lot of them, where they have spent number of years in the corporate, in the HRs and stuff, and yet they've gotten into coming and studying this. So I always encourage them to take this up professionally and be very dedicated and be very sincere and honest, ethical, of course, in this. I'm actually wanting to create very good practitioners, honestly, and that's my drive.
So what are people in their 20s coming and asking you? What's on their mind?
20s, of course, is very interesting, is love, love, love. It's all about the love life.
No money?
And not money. The dreams are there.
What are these dreams like?
So the dreams, the aspirations, fame, money, how much of money, and the kind of fame that I can get. Yeah. And then finally it all homes down to love life.
But when you said between fame and money, what is it that matters more according to you when they come and ask you, fame or money?
I think fame is important. Money follows if fame is there.
Fame is there.
Yeah.
So it's love, money, and fame for the 20s.
Yeah.
What about people in their 30s? What are they coming and asking?
30s, these days what has happened is that people are spending a lot of their years in pursuing their careers or setting them up, even the girls. And when they hit around 30 is where they feel that now, okay, we can, or even post 30, we can think of marriage. And so then there is this sifting going on with respect to the frame that they have thought to be taken as their life partner. And of course, arranged marriages are not in at all. They all want to marry the person that they like or they want or they love or whatever. And so it's about their career advancement. It's about now money a lot, the financial stability, and of course, marriage and stuff.
Okay. What about those in their 40s?
40s is more to do with financial stabilities, the assets that they want to create. And of course, the health also sets in here, where they start getting conscious of their health. And of course, the family and the family planning and the children and etc.
So those are the questions that you had.
Yeah.
And then 50s, does it change?
50 to 60 is more to do with the children.
Oh, so now they are parents and therefore it's about your children.
So they are more for that. But at the same time, the career and the money, of course, I think just goes on even up till 60. Yeah.
And post 60, do you have people who come to you who are above 60?
So I've actually seen that post 50, post 55 is where women, they are free from their family stuff, in the sense the children have grown, they've taken their flights, and the less of responsibility is here where they start thinking about themselves. Is where that individuality starts to set in. And now they want to pursue and they want to make their own careers. And this is something which intrigues them a lot.
But at that age, like in the 50s, they want to think of career again. So what do they think of? Like,
so if they've been housewives, let's say, then they start thinking about themselves because of, I think they must be feeling lonely, or they must be feeling that they have no purpose left. So what is it that we, could take up? And this is something which is such a beautiful option to take up. So I have that entire bracket coming to me. And obviously, they have had the backup of the experience that they've had in life, which really helps them to deal with people. Yeah. So that's there. Yeah. But when professionally, if I talk of that, somebody wants to take this profession professionally, then of course, the 30 onwards, 35 onwards is a very, very good time to take up.
What are some of like the weirdest questions you've been asked and you've just been stumped by the line of questioning?
Yeah, of course I have. There are many, but I just one or two of them. So what is the kind of death that I'm going to have? How am I going to die?
Like whether it's going to be painful, not painful?
Yeah, painful, or I'll be struggling, or it's going to be instant, it's going to be young, old, or whatever. Okay. So we don't predict death. For sure. And the second is that they'll have very, very small children. And they would like to know, the parents, whether these children are going to look after them or not.
Oh.
When they grow up.
That's actually, people actually ask you this.
People actually, and I'm zapped. I said, what are you going to, what do I tell you? What if it is negative? Are you going to bring up your children with that in your mind? And what is going to be your psychology or your mindset at the end of the day?
Right.
So I don't encourage these questions, Rajneil.
So how do you respond when somebody...
I simply say that, no, this is not something that I'm going to answer.
Other than this, any other kinds of questions that stump you?
Yeah, I think this is it. And people are they have these fears and phobias. So one person having cancer in the family, little problem, the smallest of the problem, will I have cancer?
But not going for medical help?
Not going for medical help. They come and ask me. And then if they've had cancer, so is there going to be a relapse?
Relapse. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of questions.
Yeah.
Now, typically because you also, you help people heal.
Yes.
What are you usually helping them heal from? What is the most common problem that you think people are facing today that they need to be healed from?
So that's the inner childhood traumas.
Mostly childhood.
Mostly childhood traumas. There are ancestral traumas as well. But the childhood traumas is something which is big time there. So we need to heal them from there, right? Because, childhood is the foundation which shapes up your personality at the end of the day. So if that is disturbed with the kind of nuclear families that have come up and the interpersonal relationships and stuff, these impact a lot when you grow up as adults. So there the healing is required, plus at the mental and the emotional well-being.
Well-being.
Very important.
Because you have such a vast number of people who come to you, do people generally come across to you as happy?
Absolutely.
They are happy.
Yeah.
I would.
I mean, if they want, they just stick to me for so long because they said that we get so much of positivity, we get so much of empowerment, we get that, that kick that if you could do so much, why can't we?
But are they happy people otherwise?
Not really, but I do make them to an extent
you
that I can.
And what is it that they're not happy about? Like just same love
They're
life,
not happy
money.
about anything in life, Rajneil. It's there's no acceptance. It's such an irony to figure that out, that people are not into acceptance, even of their own selves. You leave alone people around them or even situations. अपने आप की स्वयं की acceptance नहीं है उनको कि वो कैसे हैं. So absolutely confused, and they are not kind of what do I say, channelized.
But when you hear some of their issues, do you feel like, my God, they actually have nothing to be unhappy about, and yet here they are?
Yes. And that is the picture that I show them. And that is what I show them, because I know what unhappiness is all about, because there are people coming from that area as well. So then I show them the other side, the other perspective.
Could you give me an example of this? Like, what is like somebody, like, again, some issue which you think is like, God, this is barely an issue. Why is it making you unhappy?
Yeah. So let's say post-marriage, it's about the husband-wife issues, and then the children are there and so on and so forth. And then, so it's very miserable. Now it becomes miserable. Why? Because you are not even accepting each other for who they are, of what they are. And you just want is change, So this one should change and this one should change. So they are talking about love, but I really don't think that there's much love, because when there is love, you won't like to change someone. You will accept the person as the person is. So that's one thing, and that goes to such a level that gives them so much of stress, and then they are in the verge of separation. The children are suffering, and so on and so forth. The children are fine, healthy. They themselves are healthy, but where are they rocked off? Emotionally, mentally. Yeah? And making their lives so distressful, so miserable. So then I show them, then I try to tell them, see, your body is completely full and proper. It's complete, it's whole. Your children are healthy, and yet they remain happy. So these are much more intense problems that you're facing. What you have is still something that you should be in gratitude of, you should be grateful of. Yeah.
And what is the one thing you wish people would ask you more often and worry about, which they never do?
I think they should be working on themselves. They need to be in self-love. They need to be in acceptance. They need to be talking more about how they should be working with their mind and their emotions, how they can keep themselves healthy there.
Like you mentioned, it's only when you reach your 40s do people ask you about health. But do you feel like health is often an afterthought for many?
Absolutely. It is. Unless and until, because of their lifestyle disorders, because of their work schedules, some problem has already set in around the 35, 36. You know how frantically people become workaholics. There's no food timings, there's no nap timings, there's nothing. There's no sleep timings as well. So when something sets in, and so much of pressures and stresses, and they are not able to handle, and they don't know how to divert the stress. So that is the time when they do ask if something is already set in. Otherwise, much of the awareness is around the 40s.
Much around the 40s. Yeah. Now, of course, you are a senior and you've had a long career. Do you ever think of living a retired life, or do you want to keep continuing?
Absolutely not. It's not there in my belief system at all. And I'm going to be working, passing on the light, the knowledge, till the time I'm alive, if I'm able to.
And what is the spiritual journey for you like as you grow older? What kind of realizations do you have as you keep?
So this is more of anubhuti, I would say, more of my inward experiences. And I want to be more experiential, because knowledge has been enough. Though there is no day where you say that, okay, this is the end of knowledge. Learning continues till the day you die, right? But I want now to experience more, specifically the internal, the philosophy that I'm following. So yeah.
But how do you get to do that? Does it mean travel? Does it mean meeting more
No,
people?
it's my own spiritual practices where I am doing my meditations, I am doing my the mindfulness activities and the chantings, and my philosophy is of non-dualism, the Advaita. So it's more to do with self-inquiry as to who am I.
What is non-dualism? Sorry, you're talking to somebody who's
Non-dualism is
aware of these
there is
things.
no separation
of
of anything in this world. So you, me, all are one. Duality would be you are different or the Almighty is different and I'm different. So it's like in the ocean, you find the wave.
Right.
And till the time the wave is in ignorance, the wave says, so this is me, wave, and that is water. That is the ocean.
Ocean.
So when the wave comes into awareness, then understands, oh my God, I am the ocean, I am the water, and I'm going to merge into the ocean. Yeah. So that's what it is.
Got it. One of the biggest challenges that senior citizens face is loneliness, right? Even if they have a partner, they could still end up being very lonely. What do you, I mean, is it something that you face sometimes, and how do you think seniors should deal with this?
So, see, I have never felt lonely. I've started loving myself since the time I did so. I love my own company. I like to be with my own self, with certain reflections and introspections and stuff. I like to travel alone. I like solitude. I like to be with my own self, right? People, that's where I kind of encourage them not to get trapped by this loneliness stuff, because they need to give a purpose to their lives. Even at this stage when they have grown, I think beyond 70s also, there should be a purpose till the time they're able to do something. They should pursue their passion, whatever they wanted to do all this while and they were not able to because of work and stuff. They should pursue that passion or pick up a cause. But there should be some activity that should go on.
That's there. You recently become a grandmother. How has that changed? I mean, your daughter is now a mother. How has that changed her?
Yeah, so I have a lovely granddaughter. She's called Neera. And so my daughter, of course, the bonding has increased and she started understanding me more now as her mother. Yeah.
And what are some of those instances where you feel, oh, now she gets like, oh, I told you so, or now you know what it feels like?
Yeah, she does. So in the process of bringing up her own child, she understands, that concern that she has now, or the do's and don'ts that she likes for her daughter, and which she used to resist with me. Now she's able to understand where that was coming from. It was more of a concern. It was more love. It was more of the safety part of it. Yeah.
And what role do you play in terms of bringing your granddaughter up? Of course, you're here, she's in the US.
She's in the US,
But, there are also very different parenting styles between India and the US.
See, those contradictions are definitely going to be there. And but then we try to balance that out. Sometimes they listen to us, sometimes we listen to them. So I think, and the coping mechanism has to be really great. The acceptance has to be great. And I think as parents, we've also evolved a lot, me and my husband both, from how we used to think as what we think today. And I think love, when there is love for your child, you tend to accept everything. That's
so
there.
Give me like an example of how you and your husband have changed as parents. Like, what was the one thing you would be very worried about a few years ago, but now you would not be worried about?
Yeah, so the control, I would say, would used to stem out of the safety and security part for the child. But the child felt that this was control. Yeah.
Right.
And so that we kind of understood, that how this concern of ours is getting conveyed to the child. And we tried to work on that. We tried to communicate. We tried to also stop ourselves at times to not do so. And Rajneil, again, parenthood is something which is not taught. You learn in the process. You learn when you're growing. So different phases give you different learnings. But at the end of the day, you should be open to learning at the same time.
Another concept that's coming about is aging gracefully. We see a lot of people not being able to cope with the physical changes that aging brings.
Yeah.
And therefore deciding to do, doing certain things to their body, doing certain things otherwise. That's one aspect.
So did you not know that the aesthetic industry is at its boom?
Of course, it's at its boom, but therefore, what is aging gracefully to you mean?
For me, I think it is accepting yourself as you've accepted yourself at all the other phases of your life, and loving yourself at the same time. So accept as it is. The body has to decay, the mind has to decay, but you can keep it alive till the time you can. So, and I think it is all in the mind, and your mind controls everything. Even I think the process of aging, there's a lot to do with the mind.
Can the mind control it, do you think?
Absolutely. If you're positive, if you're peaceful, if you're joyful within, a lot of things, they kind of get postponed or delayed, I guess.
We're living in this era now of information overload. There's social media, so there's doom scrolling. Our attention spans have reduced.
Yeah.
And it's not just for younger people, but also for, for older people. I see my own parents, my uncle, my aunts, constantly being on WhatsApp or constantly going through reels and YouTube videos and all of that, right? And I think it's also because now as they grow older, they of course are active, but then they also want to, there's not much to do, so they're therefore sitting on these platforms all the time. Are there certain spiritual or meditative ways in which they can gain focus and kind of be sane?
Yeah, so if it's all about your interest. What is the interest that you are wanting to, out of that you're wanting to watch or listen to? Because in a way, these platforms are offering, the huge variety of stuff. So there is spiritualism also, there are discourses also, there's positive talks also, everything is there. So if you're choosing something to empower yourself in a way which is going to help your mind and your emotional balance, then of course, what's the problem? At the end of the day, it's giving you a spike, it's giving you a high, it's giving you a positive, mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would say it's okay if they're sitting and scrolling or doing all of that?
Yeah, not unnecessary scrolling, of course, but something that's making sense to them, something which is inspiring.
Have you ever sat on any of these apps just to say, let me check out what's...
Where is the time, Rajneil?
Not at all.
I really don't think so. For me, it's like work. So it's all to do with work. Even if I'm doing something, it's again my work related.
When you do say work, do you find work to be meditative for you, or sometimes do you feel
Absolutely. It's meditation for me. Yeah.
It's meditation. And we've been talking about astrology apps and how they're so popular. A lot of Gen Z folks are going to astrology apps to get answers to a lot of their questions. You have a lot of students. Are they getting onto these astrology apps as well?
Of course, they are going there.
What's happening in these apps?
So it's like there are, as far as the percentage goes, I think there are very few people who are actually going there for serious questions or serious discussions. But most of them are into the casual talk or the casual questions, and questions things like, it's more to do with their personal life, their love life, as I said.
Right.
मुझसे नाराज हो गया है, मेरे पास वापस कब आएगा, मुझे फोन करना चाहिए कि उसे फोन करना चाहिए, 1 घंटे के बाद फोन आएगा, रात में फोन आएगा, अगले दिन फोन आएगा. Is he thinking about someone else? Is he dating someone else? Is he having sex with that other woman, with his ex? So it's all about this. And these are the questions which I would never address.
And this is what's going on a lot of
this
these.
This is what is going on. And I think there's a performance, a pressure at the same time, because you can't go negative.
Oh.
You can't give...
astrologer can't give negative news.
Yeah, so you can't be negative, or you can't be saying, upfront things, because then there is the marking, what do you say that?
The rating.
The rating. So if you don't get a good rating, then you're not performing well there.
So basically, everybody is just told nice things to make things look
So
good.
I think that's what I think, that you're supposed to be talking good. You're supposed to be talking nice. Wherein I would not entertain such questions. I would rather make them understand the intensity or the flavor of their relationship, other than who's going to call after an hour or the next day and so on.
No, but how can you even answer that? Like, can astrology actually give you answers to such questions?
I don't know. It all depends on what people are, kind of talking and how they are coming to know. It's a huge question mark. And I think you should understand it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, it's been a wonderful conversation. This is the last section of the podcast. It's the rapid fire.
Oh, yeah.
Quick questions, quick answers.
Absolutely.
Okay. Your first job was at
Akbar's.
Akbar's. What was your first salary? Do you remember?
I really don't. But I think it was around 1,200
1,200 a
or
month?
1,000 or so.
A month.
Yeah.
Okay. One good thing about growing older.
Older, I think experience. More, I'm getting more spiritually inward. And as I said, the anubhuti part, I think I'm loving that because it's getting more intenser. Yeah.
One bad thing about growing older.
Being dependent.
Being dependent
Anytime in future, I would not like to be dependent on anyone.
on anyone.
Yeah.
One thing you liked about being young.
Curiosity.
And one thing you disliked about being young.
I think there was too much of the do's and don'ts that we were in that setup. So that I didn't like.
That you didn't like.
Yeah.
Looking back, what advice would you give to your 30-year-old self?
I should have lived my life because at that point of time, I think I lived my life for others, not for my own self. So live my life to the fullest.
To the fullest. If you could go back and change one thing in your life, what would that be?
I think I would, as in change in my life, again, as I said,
Live for yourself.
live for myself.
A show, I mean, you said you don't watch a lot of TV,
Mm-hmm.
but one show that you watched which you really liked.
Special ops.
The new one?
Yeah.
The new season?
Yeah.
Perfect. A song that's playing on loop for you.
So songs, generally, I don't. I'm fond of the mantras. So the mantras are in and out, both internally, externally. They are vibrating, I think, 24/7. So for me, I'm more of a mantra person.
More of a mantra person. A book that you're currently reading.
Self-inquiry, Maharishi Ramana.
Okay.
And he's the one who gave me my spiritual name. He's my guru.
What is your
The subtle
spiritual
form, Om Anadi.
Does that mean something?
Om Anadi was given to him and I've just taken it.
Or just
Anadi is endless.
that's all. So there is meaning.
Yeah.
Got it. If your life had chapters, what would be the title of this current chapter?
Self-attainment.
Self-attainment. What advice would you have for the senior and the younger generations?
Okay, for the seniors, of course, it is self-love and practicing spiritual gym, which is to do with working, strengthening, empowering their emotions and their mind. And for the younger lot, of course, see, the younger generation is more to do with logic. I think their orientation is such. But spiritual strength, gives a lot of emotional and mental strength to journey through life. So I think they should take it.
Okay. The ultimate truth of life for you is
Attainment.
attainment again?
Yes.
Perfect. Ma'am, it's been a wonderful conversation. Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you so much for being there.
Thank you.
Atmanaman.